Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is between TGW and Dise, taking place here on Concealed Hill. TGW spawning as the orange human player on the top right hand side of the map, meanwhile Dise spawning as the purple human on the bottom left. For all you guys watching here on Twitch, I don't know why I'm getting updates on dropped frames. I shouldn't be getting updates on drop frames. I'm not trying to stream in 4K 60 frames per second. I have a very fast internet, and well, I guess all I can do is complain and wonder when Google Fiber is going to be coming to my neighborhood. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down in this matchup. Pretty much so far, both sides opening up with the very same build, Altar of Kings, Barracks Farm, to complete that wall off. Meanwhile, back down to the south side here, it looks like there's a little walkway here, similar to how there's a little walkway right here, forcing the opponent to try and walk through this narrow passageway if you are a hero. Footmen can still come through here, but well, this side is going to be a little bit tighter, and you can kind of hide your units off to the side here. SimCity building placement, all incredibly important in WarCraft 3 and other real-time strategy games where, well, there's range units versus melee units to sum it all up there. Archmage versus Archmage versus a Bloodmage matchup. I take it back. So, well, TGW opening things up with a rather unique first hero choice. Not quite sure what's going to come of this, but Blood Mage first, if you're able to get a very high level of siphon mana off, well, you're able to shut down enemy heroes while just supporting and powering up your own. The odd thing, though, is that normally the Blood Mage is a secondary hero. To try to go for this as your primary hero is a very interesting call here as the Militia now makes its way across. All right, going to try to go after this Forest Troll High Priest here. A little bit of damage onto that Footman. Forest Troll High Priest will end up getting taken down. There's a little bit of inner fire going across onto another Forest Troll Trapper as that Forest Troll High Priest does get finished off here. Mud Golem will be that next target, followed by the Rock Golem here. Manual of Health will get picked up. And, well, the Blood Mage still has not yet chosen an ability. Archmage is just shy of level 2. Meanwhile, Blood Mage may get to level 2 first. Yes, gets to level 2 first. Is he going to pick up the item? Yes, Potion of Invulnerability. And now the Archmage here going to get to level 2 as we see some Siphon mana already going down. All right, Siphon mana first there. A little bit of damage getting, a little bit of mana getting denied once more. A Peasant going to end up getting taken down. That may give the Archmage level 2. It does. And now the Blood Mage needs to find a way to siphon more mana again. Otherwise, we may see another Water Elemental. All right, large scale battle across many screens here. One Peasant getting taken down. Blood Mage trying to retreat back. Does have a Potion of Invulnerability. Perhaps he probably wants a Potion of Greater Healing instead. Now going to be making his way down. Low hit point Footman trying to retreat back here. Perhaps going to try and hide at this Fountain of Health during the night as we're looking at a bit of an engagement once more. All right. Dise going to take... Dise going to lose that Footman. Yes, does end up getting it taken down. Another Footman coming back across here. Are we going to see, yes, Boots of Speed and Staff of Teleportation? Blood Mage could try and siphon more mana. No, instead just going to try and retreat back out. One fall back Footman here perhaps could cause some pathing issues as this Footman now tries to retreat back home. Militia and Footman looking to clear out this Forest Troll Berserker creep camp. Blood Mage is now up to 2.7 on level, and if the Blood Mage does get up to level 3, well, then we know that there are going to be a lot of Flame Strike strategies. Meanwhile, I don't see any units trying to run it down on the inside here. Blood Mage is nicely healing up at that Fountain of Health as the Footman now tries to retreat back. Tech to Tier 2 has not been started, interestingly enough, by TGW, as more Militia rounds are, well, being run. Coming back around here, Footman trying to split up and engage again. This Footman perhaps going to try and head it off over towards that Fountain of Health. Down goes one Footman here. Meanwhile, the Blood Mage here is going to get up to level 3 as there have been some militia clearing out there on the map as we see off to the north. And what does this mean? It means that, well, we are going to be looking at a possible flame strike. All right, try to finish off some of these buildings here. There's a flame strike right there. Going to add in some damage onto these farms as well. There's some siphon mana as that Blood Mage ends up getting surrounded. All right, surround on that Blood Mage. Water Elemental actually doing a little bit of the blocking there as we're going to see a triple farm getting destroyed. All right, all of these farms going to get destroyed off right here, and suddenly we're going to see Dise now completely supply blocked. All right, he is currently sitting at 29 over 30 supply. There goes 2 additional farms right there, 28 over 18. And what can this Blood Mage hope to do now? All right, Footman finishing off another peasant there. No chance for a Mountain King or any other heroes. That fast tech to tier 2 not translating to enough as the Archmage now will be getting up to level 3. Dise at level 3 on that Archmage. A Blood Mage also at level 3 as well. Footman trying to do a little bit of retreating back. Archmage with Boots of Speed, Claws of Attack +4, and plenty of mana wants to punish all of this interesting early play. Meanwhile, TGW back at home, trying to tech to tier 2, will be able to get there, but, well, oddly enough, we're looking at a Dise also being able to set up those dual Arcane Sanctums as he cannot train up any units just quite yet. All right. I need to see some repairing going on. Meanwhile, where are those heroes? Looking out onto the battlefield, where are they? Are they healing up? Yes, they are. Blood Mage healing back up at that Fountain of Health with a single Footman. Archmage, Boots of Speed wandering around here, going to take down another peasant as well. A little bit of an experience boost for that Archmage since no secondary hero while at tier 2. Incoming Staff of Teleportation, and now in comes the Blood Mage. Gonna find, perhaps finish off a Footman right there. That Footman down to 27 hit points. Blood Mage not gonna be able to finish off the job there as he's trying to chase after that unit once more. All right, gonna double back around, perhaps find another way, and, well, to hit with another round of Flame Strike. Is he gonna Flame Strike all of these buildings again? Perhaps try and supply block. There's another Arcane Vault getting cancelled as the Footmen are now rushing on in, and there is a Flame Strike straight up on to that, well, gold mine line. Blood Mage now trying to retreat back here. Arcane Tower going to be fighting back here. A little bit of damage over time as the Blood Mage doesn't quite have enough mana and going to be forced to call a Scroll of Town Portal to get everyone out of the action. Low hit point Footman able to escape back out as we now see the Mountain King joining out on the battlefield. Goblin Zeppelin in play here now. We are going into an Arcane Sanctum, dual Arcane Sanctums, as the Goblin Zeppelin picking up all of those units and perhaps going to try and go in for a drop behind enemy lines. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And this harassment is really taking a lot of the attention for Dise as we're looking at a 30 supply compared to 34 supply army from both sides. All right. Blood Mage ready to, well, drop on in here. Didn't use a Clarity Potion, surprisingly. There's that Clarity Potion. Now gonna go ahead and jump on in here. In comes another Goblin Zeppelin as well. Dise perhaps smelling something fishy and now wants a sight up onto the high ground. Will be able to get exactly that with that Zeppelin there. Archmage gonna go ahead and drop. There's a Flame Strike. Gonna go ahead and pick up all of those units once more. There's that Siphon mana. Archmage is dishing out damage, but doesn't have any more mana for anything else as the Footmen are in position here again. Are we going to see another Flame Strike there? Yes, Flame Strike. All those peasants could have a very bad day. One peasant gets taken down as the rest of the peasants are getting dropped back off again. All right, more attacks, more engagements as the Mountain King now dropped back in here. Goblin Zeppelin, well, flying the unfriendly skies, trying to drop off into this position. Not going to be able to do so as the Goblin Zeppelin now keeping track off over here. All right. Cloak of Shadows left behind by those sea turtles. What is the Goblin Zeppelin hoping to do? Archmage can easily lob some attacks against that Goblin Zeppelin here. Perhaps try and take it down as the Zeppelin still keeping pace off to the side. All right, Archmage looking to put on pressure again. Meanwhile, off to the north, we don't see a second hero yet. We are going into, what is that, Arcane Sentry or Magic Sentry and upgraded Priest as the Blood Mage now able to siphon some more mana again. Are we going to be looking at another big Flame Strike across here? That is the question as we see the Flame Strike now go down. Blood Mage really has no way to get out of this situation now. More siphon mana, Stormbolt onto the Blood Mage there, but without a Scroll of Town Portal, he's really pot committed in this tough spot. All right, more engagements heading back across here. We're going to look at a Cloak of Shadows. There is another Stormbolt. Blood Mage is in some serious trouble. Going to try and back away down to 107 hit points. And now, well, Goblin Zeppelin is on fire and should be forced to retreat. Back off to the north, we do not see any signs of any additional heroes. We are getting up some Spellbreakers, and, well, Spellbreakers in that frontline spot can absorb or stand in that Flame Strike while not suffering any damage. Meanwhile, those footmen there, normally decent counters to Spellbreakers just because of that armor difference, would end up falling faster. All right. Blood Mage looking to shut down that Goblin Zeppelin. There's a Staff of Teleportation. Archmage trying to chase after that Goblin Zeppelin there. 2 footmen in that Goblin Zeppelin, down to 76 hit points. That Goblin Zeppelin now heading back over to that high ground, making it, or above the tree line, to try and hide from that Archmage. All right, 2 more shots, 1 more shot. Are we going to see a dead footman there? Yes, dead footman dropped. They are suffering as they did not get unloaded properly. Blood Mage now heading off to the north here, going to try and clear out this Null Overseer creep camp. We do see 1 priest here, and that is it. And with only 1 priest, not going to be able to heal up nearly enough. More priests now joining in on the fight too. Mountain King sitting at level 2 can get easily to level 3, and if we do see level 3, that is going to be a very, very dangerous Mountain King with level 2 Stormbolt most likely. Archmage drops a Water Elemental off to the side here, ready to put on pressure, knocking at the front door. And it does not look like TGW has a real answer for all of this harassment. Meanwhile, Spellbreakers looking to deal with these dizzying footmen. Footmen now going to be, well, healing up at this Fountain of Health. Oddly enough, they might actually be able to heal. Spellbreaker is the one actually losing a bit more hit points, I believe. Meanwhile, a large fight going on inside the main base of TGW. All right, both sides fighting their way through. Goblins, Blood Mage needs to drop here, perhaps get some Flame Strikes down. There's the Flame Strike. All of those priests and sorceresses need to get away. Archmage able to dodge away in time, as well as the Arcane Tower acts as a strong deterrent. Both sides still fighting their way through. Spellbreakers could easily finish off a priest or 2 as we're looking at more Siphon Mana. Mountain King does Stormbolt the Blood Mage. Blood Mage currently out of the action, trying to fight their way back. A little bit more damage getting added in as, what is this? Mountain King could be in a bit of trouble. Actually fighting in between all of these units here. He does have a Bash as an ability, but he doesn't look like he has a real way out. Mountain King not going to be able to get out here. Meanwhile, the Expo going to get cleaned up before, well, it gets set up. Footman now trying to dive on in, perhaps getting a little bit of problems as the Blood Mage shows to the party and says, "Surprise, I'm not good for you," as, well, we see a little bit more damage getting racked up here. All right, Blood Mage could finish things off, drops another Water Elemental. Archmage gonna, well, be able to stop things here as the Footmen are going after all of these peasants again and again. Blood Mage does this time have a Scroll of Town Portal, will be able to get out of this tight spot as we see a Flame Strike go down. Many of those peasants could get taken down. More Siphon Mana, another Footman gets taken down. Blood Mage nearly at level 5 now, needs 1 or 2 more peasant shots to get the job done. All right, Footman with the Fen. Blood Mage, is he going to be able to finish off any of these peasants? That is the question here, as the Blood Mage, well, still holding off ever so barely, taking a little bit of damage. There's level 5 now, level 5 on the Blood Mage, perhaps trying to get off a level 3 Flame Strike off onto these buildings. to take down all of those units. All right, in comes a sorceress gonna get taken down. Peasant number 1, peasant number 2 also about to get taken down as the blood mage gets picked up by that goblin zeppelin. Plenty of targets to try and siphon mana from. Back up to 137 mana again. Are we gonna see another flame strike go down? Yeah, going down onto the farms, and the farms are pretty much on fire, burning down those farms here as trying to finish off many of those units. Priest constantly getting picked up by goblin zeppelins. Now Spellbreakers getting elevated into this position as the Mountain King gets resurrected here. There's a siphon mana. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? No, we are not, as the Mountain King gets a level up as well. Archmage gets up to level 4. Blood Mage now trying to drop down into that back spot here. Scroll of Town Portal. Mountain King not going to be able to finish off the Blood Mage, but does finish off a Spellbreaker who was trying to get closer to the action. Back off to the north here. Clarity Potion, most likely already being used. Scroll of Regeneration will be used as well. Trying to heal up TGW with some, well, heavy-handed harassment throughout this game. Thank you, Dave. As we're looking over here on the bottom left. Wow, only one viewer. Is there a lot of dropped frames? No, it looks like the frames have kind of stabilized after all this time. All right. Coming back on through. Oh, well. Little bit of engagement. 39 supply compared to 43. Spellbreakers looking to, well, stop this here. Mountain King with level 2 Stormbolt hoping to land something onto that Blood Mage. You can see that all of these farms here are still in, well, quite a bit of danger. One big, well, flame strike here, and that's going to deal damage to the keep and also to all of these buildings here. Well, supply blocking his opponent. 43 supply over 30 again. There goes a Stormbolt onto the Blood Mage. Blood Mage down to 162, trying to get away. No, doesn't need to get away. Can hide in plain sight as that Blood Mage does have a Cloak of Shadows. All right, a little bit of action still going on. Spellbreaker trying to finish things off. Another Priest going to get taken down. Mountain King, well, trying to finish off this Spellbreaker here as we're going to see a drop inside the base now. All right, the Keep is now dangerously low on hit points. Another Flame Strike going down. That's going to suffer 300 hit points of damage, and the Keep could be in trouble. Repairs are now underway, trying to hold steady at 200. There's the Goblin Zeppelin picking up those targets here as the peasants are slowly getting taken down. All right, trying to finish off target after target. Mountain King, is he going to be able to Stormbolt that Blood Mage? Blood Mage getting plenty of mana. Now going to go ahead and pick up, drop back down. Could try and go for a Flame Strike right here. That is going to suffer the damage of the farms. And now we are looking at 38 supply over 24. Archmage now teleports in as the Goblin Zeppelin backs out. All of those peasants are, well, desperately repairing. Goblin Zeppelin needs to unload those peasants to keep these units alive as the Blood Mage is just keeping this harassment going. All right, Stormbolt onto the Blood Mage. Blood Mage could be in trouble, down to 105 hit points. He needs to try and retreat back out as the Mountain King used a potion of mana in a time. Siphon mana to try and get as much mana as possible. Perhaps we're going to see another Flame Strike again there. Mountain King dropping into that position to try and, well, target that Blood Mage. Blood Mage looks like he's going to finally be retreating back home as the main gold mines have about 4 minutes of mining left. All right, Spellbreaker retreating back, Spellbreaker retreating back, Spellbreaker's retreating back. Where Goblin Zeppelin, well, Blood Mage still with a potion of lesser invulnerability now trying to finish the job and finish off this keep. Meanwhile, Mountain King shows up to the party here, and what is going to go down? All right, is he going to get siphoned mana? That is the question. Spellbreaker actually able to remove some of that precious mana as the Archmage, what gives chase again, and that Goblin Zeppelin with sight up on above that tree line, so incredibly important. Blood Mage gonna go ahead and retreat all the way back home. 86 supply now, while simply flying overhead again. All right, should be looking at a Scroll of Regeneration and perhaps nope. Or Clarity Potion. No, none of those. In fact, just staying back home and getting in for another fight. Spellbreakers and Priest versus Spellbreakers. Not a good fight for Dise to be in. All right, in comes some heals. All right, Priest quickly trying to retreat to the very far back position. Spellbreakers are going to engage Mountain King in this spot as well. And with no other casters, well, this Blood Mage doesn't have any easy targets any longer. Meanwhile, Arcane Vault here going to get taken out easily as the Mountain King. Well, Mantle of Intelligence off to the side. That's going to be an easy item pickup for that Mountain King there. Archmage looking to back up here, perhaps try and pick up some more items. Blood Mage now simply running out across the battlefield, hoping to finish the job, perhaps take down this keep. We're looking at 40 over 42 supply. Dise trying to rebuild his infrastructure, which he has lost, well, so many times. So many farms have burned to the ground. That Blood Mage, well, loving the level 3 Flame Strike, loving to target all of those buildings down. Meanwhile, off to the north here, Water Elemental poking a park at the barracks here. Mountain King Archmage constantly getting harassed as the Blood Mage going to go ahead and drop on in. There is a Flame Strike there. Peasants, two peasants quickly getting taken down. Blood Mage going to continue that fight here once more. Mountain King is right there. Archmage breaks the link. Is the Mountain King going to be able to do much as the Spellbreakers are fighting back the other way? All right, Blood Mage could try and siphon mana off of the Mountain King now after the Stormbolt is a little bit delayed there. Are we going to see some more Flame Strikes perhaps go down? Yeah, a bunch of peasants. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability in time. Siphon mana, and now the Keep is dangerously low on hit points. Keep is now down to 254 hit points. Spellbreakers is the Flame Strike, and then perhaps go down and finish off the job. And yes, the Town Hall or the Keep has been taken down. All right, no more mining whatsoever. Blood Mage now using Staff of Teleportation to head back home. Archmage is going to finish off a couple of these Spellbreakers, or at least try to. One more final attack there. This Spellbreaker able to retreat back home as one Spellbreaker just kind of left himself behind. All right. A little bit more healing going on in the back. Blood Mage nearing level 6. And if we could have a Phoenix in a play here in just a moment. That Phoenix should be able to target a lot of very powerful or target the heroes. Spellbreakers, no, not so much, but that Blood Mage has pretty much been a one-man harassment army, guerrilla tactics galore, as the Spellbreakers are looking to, well, perhaps get in a big target. Spellbreakers now looking to try and take down the farm altar of King's Wall that was established here, and it doesn't look like TGW hasn't a real answer for this just quite yet. All right, 41 supply compared to 44. Arcane towers are getting constructed here, and they are going to try and poke back just a little bit. All right, free exchanges going back and forth. Blood Mage, is he going to be able to get off some Flame Strikes, perhaps onto some of those priests in the back as well? Arcane towers are nearly done. Militia now being called over. Gold completely lost now, so not that big of a difference at all, as the Blood Mage going to go ahead and try and, well, pick up and drop off some units. Water Elemental, Blood Mage can perhaps try to land some Flame Strike down. No, not going to be able to do that, as the priests are still able to back up pretty consistently into the back part of the field. However, Archmage does have Brilliance Aura, meaning a lot of mana still for these priests of Dise. Meanwhile, TGW's priests are all looking a little bit dry, as we see a big Goblin Zeppelin elevator pickup drop off to protect those lower hit point priests. Both sides still fighting their way through. Mountain King could be in a little bit of trouble. Blood Mage gonna drop down another Flame Strike. Is the Mountain King in trouble? Yes, he is. Mountain King cannot take any more damage. Gets up to level 4 instead, and able to retreat back out. He was low on hit points, and now healed back up as the Archmage now gets up to level 5. This is looking odd. TGW and was able to shut down his opponent's keep, but no additional mining anywhere to be had, and, well, this is not turning into the fight that he wants. All right, Blood Mage continuing to battle it up here. He needs to get an additional 116 experience. If he does do exactly that, suddenly the introduction of the Phoenix greatly changes things, as it will be able to easily take down water elementals and perhaps even get to those priests as well. Goblin Zeppelin overhead here. Well, if you can't win a battle straight up, might as well try and win the battle another way. You're going to see Spellbreaker lost in transit, needs 47 more experience, and we are now looking at a base race scenario. Priest are off in the back here. What is going on? Blood Mage going to head back down, perhaps try and win out by taking down all of the buildings. The Spellbreaker should actually be going after the highest hit point buildings, as Well, I guess going after the Arcane Vault that is not in proximity to other buildings is a good call here as well. All right, Arcane Towers are feeding back. Priest could end up getting taken down. Priest going to easily be poked apart there, but that does not give experience as it was a tower kill. Blood Mage comes across with another Flame Strike here, trying to finish off more of these buildings, and this is a base race spot to be in. Spellbreakers and Priests are going to continue to try and fight. Perhaps a Call to Arms could be useful. Priests are currently getting in a little bit of heals across here as the Militia are fighting back now. All of the Arcane Towers are now down. Meanwhile, looking at the building count here, one peasant trying to escape away. That one peasant could build another farm and position somewhere as the Militia are now trying to retreat back. Mountain King could go for some Stormbolts. There goes another Priest as well. Stormbolt onto a peasant as the Mountain King still giving chase as well. Archmage, does he go after the Militia or does the Mountain King go after the Militia or go after the Priest? Go straight after the Priest right there as the Mountain King will be able to get enough mana here in just a second for one more Stormbolt. Back down to the south side, we're looking at the Arcane Sanctum about to get taken down. The Blood Mage could easily finish off all of, well, a Flame Strike right here would be perfect. A large amount of damage. Yeah, a large amount of damage here. The Blood Mage has plenty of mana. Not quite sure why he's not doing that. Meanwhile, off to the north, we're looking at the Spellbreakers trying to finish off this keep here. A couple of peasants are, well, strategically placed all across the map to set up new buildings as this Arcane Sanctum now down to 700 hit points and dropping quickly. Blood Mage holding steady at 170 mana now. Well, I guess he's trying to save every bit of mana. He knows that he can win out of this base race scenario. One peasant sitting inside as a couple more buildings are all that are left here. All right, Spellbreakers. Well, nope. Is he leaving behind one Spellbreaker and one Spellbreaker only? 30 supply army. 29 supply army compared to 30. Blood Mage, what is he? Selling a Scroll of Town Portal, picking up a potion of lesser invulnerability, and now heading off to the north again. Perhaps wanting to try and get an easy kill onto some of these onto some of these peasants that would give him level 6, and that's all he really needs. All right, yes, Flame Strike right there. Peasants are all going to try and dive away, but the Goblin Zeppelin was in position denying level 6 on that Blood Mage. Spellbreaker should be going straight after one of those easy targets. There's that Siphon mana, but the Blood Mage does not use the potion of lesser invulnerability in time. Mountain King now currently out of mana. Both sides still trying to exchange blows. One getting picked up and dropped back down, perhaps, as the Blood Mage does need to engage in this battle. Both sides fighting their way through. There's a bash right there as low hit point units. Every bit of experience matters so much right now as you don't want to give an accidental level up to your opponent. All right. Gonna go ahead and drop off right here. Zeppelin could pick those units up again. Meanwhile, on the bottom left, one Spellbreaker trying to win the war out the slow, steady way. Turtle versus the hare scenario as units are just constantly dropping off. All right, there is a Siphon mana. Mountain King may come back around. Blood Mage trying to keep a little bit of that distance. Mountain King doesn't have enough mana for a Stormbolt as the Blood Mage now going to drop in from the skies right here. We see another building being placed down. That's quickly going to get canceled again. And what is going on here as more Spellbreakers are coming from off to the south side here? All right, the Goblin Zeppelin does have one peasant in here, so that peasant can build another building if necessary, as the Blood Mage siphons more mana from that Archmage again. All right, no more mana again there. Meanwhile, Mountain King is off to the side. We're looking at Spellbreakers trying to finish off these buildings once more. Peasants are here. It looks like those peasants are actually trying to take down this position. Perhaps going to try and Flame Strike. Yeah, Flame Strike onto all of those peasants. Not really dealing the damage at all as the peasants were all picked back up at the last moment. More Siphon mana. Mountain King Stormbolt dodges, but with the Goblin Zeppelin pickup, drop back off. Blood Mage continuing the fight, perhaps trying to take down this lumber mill as the units are still fighting their way through. All right, Priest. Peasant. Oh, Peasant needs to jump back inside that Goblin Zeppelin. Not exactly the place he wants to be. Trying to finish off this Peasant. Peasant gets taken down. Blood Mage now at level 6, and we now have a Phoenix in play. Siphon mana coupled with Phoenix in play. Blood Mage now able to handle the Archmage, who has a Blizzard and not able to do much of anything else. That Phoenix will be able to deal large amounts of damage to that Archmage here. Archmage now trying to retreat back out, now down to 90 hit points. Meanwhile, this Spellbreaker has taken down one building and still trying to pick off more. We see some units trying to heal up at the Fountain of Health, as well as we do have a Lumber Mill back at the 12 o'clock spot. All right, Mountain King now exchanging blows against this one Spellbreaker here. That Spellbreaker will end up getting taken down. Phoenix, and well, still racking up a little bit more damage. Where is that Phoenix perhaps going to try and die at? That is the big question. He's going to die over water. No, he is not. Gets to the tree line in time. Going to head back around. Is he going to take 200 points of damage? 135. It looks like he is not going to be able to rehatch and is finished off. Meanwhile, Spellbreaker is looking to finish off these buildings down to the south side here. One more farm going to get taken down. One farm and one blacksmith, all that are left as these Spellbreakers, pivot down to the south as well. There is still a lumber mill being placed down by Dise here at that 2 o'clock spot. Both sides, shrinking armies. Blood Mage with that Phoenix, but it is still on a minute and a half cooldown before it can come back out to play. All right, this farm here suffering, will get knocked down pretty much in a moment. Meanwhile, there are still plenty of buildings off to the north to be destroyed. All right, 500 hit points and dropping steadily. This may be the last building that Dise, or maybe one more scout farm after this, as the buildings to try and place down. Spellbreakers are healing back up at that Fountain of Health. The blacksmith now down to 200 hit points and will end up falling here in just a second. Meanwhile, TGW setting up one farm in the middle of the field here. There goes a flame strike, and that building has been completed, and so a little bit of damage can be done. Gonna go ahead and jump on inside here. Spellbreakers have finished off the blacksmith down to the south, and this is the last building for Dise. Off to the north here, one scout farm here. This farm is, it was not completed, so that's the last building there. Spellbreakers, Spellbreakers are trying to take down this lumber mill. Meanwhile, off to the north, Blizzard coming back across. Blood Mage could drop back down. Are we going to see some more Siphon Mana? Yes, we are. There's some Siphon Mana. There's a bash right there. For some reason, the Blood Mage is not getting challenged. Finally gets challenged right there. And I guess mana on the Blood Mage doesn't matter all that much when you think about it, since Flame Strike can only affect a couple of those units. Blood Mage, does get another Phoenix out onto the battlefield. Archmage is now trying to retreat back down to 19 hit points as the units are still trying to retreat back here. Blood Mage going to try and finish off this building as we see a scout tower being built in the center portion of next to that building here. Meanwhile, another farm now being placed down. Every bit of gold now being used as the lumber mill is down to 43 hit points and will end up getting taken down. All right, Spellbreakers running off to try and deal with this farm. Meanwhile, this scout tower here is the last building left. All right, Phoenix trying to go after that Mountain King off to the north side here. Here comes another tower as the Mountain King gets a Stormbolt off onto the building here. That tower is going to get taken down. That tower is going to get taken down. And a farm, a Siberian farm, Dise with one farm in the far corner, able to stay alive. 500 hit points between victory and defeat. Every other building on the map has been taken down. And, TGW, even though he got to level 6, ends up losing the game. Let's take a look at the final scores here. A major difference in gold mined. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.